Welcome to the Lockdown Economy, a social nonprofit initiative by think tank AlterContacts to help small businesses and self-employed professionals overcome the challenges of the pandemic and reactivate the economy. Good day, everyone. My name is Maisa Sarkis, and I am a host from businesses around the world. Today, my guest is Sanaa Ayoub, and she's the co-founder and the owner of Amiisi in Amsterdam. Hello, Sanaa. How are you?
So I'm good. How about you?
I'm great, and I'm happy to talk about Amiisi. If you want to go straight to what do you do as a business, can you tell us what is Amiisi?
Yeah, of course. Amiisi, we decided to create Amiisi. Amiisi means my shirt in Arabic. And the message behind it is we wanted to communicate to women who have a busy lifestyle, who are on the go, and who are trying to juggle between like their career, their social life, and their families. So we want, but also they still want to look on point and beautiful and feel good about themselves. So this was the initiative behind it, and we thought about the shirt dress, an item that you can dress up or dress down, and you can still look good whether with like in a casual look with sneakers or with high heels if you want to go to a business meeting, or if you accessorize it in a specific way, then you can go to dinner or to drinks with your friends. So this was the message behind Amiisi.
So when did Amiisi start? Uh,
So last year we started brainstorming. My partners and I started brainstorming about what do we want to do with Amiisi and the path we want to take with it. So this was a year ago, but then around the springtime we started taking actions. So we wanted to buy fabrics and to look for factories and manufacturers in Lebanon, and this is when we really started with the work. But it took us, of course, we wanted to launch in, I think, April, beginning of April, but because of all the delays and the lockdown that was imposed by the government several times, we couldn't.
Amiisi was born during the beginning of the pandemic, and
Yeah,
when the lockdown was still, everyone didn't know what will happen. It was still
yeah,
unclear. And
exactly. Like
so,
never thought that this would drag this long. We thought, okay, you know what? There are 10 cases, because I remember I was in Lebanon in February, and then there were 10 cases there, and the same in the Netherlands. And then all of a sudden, there were like 100 new cases, 200 new cases, and then of course it escalated from there, and it became a pandemic. But and in the meantime, we of course kept focusing on work and on how we're gonna develop and continue with the brand and make it real, execute the items that we have in mind, do the focus groups that we planned. But of course, everything worked against us, but we decided to persevere against all odds.
so how did
Yeah.
the lockdown and the pandemic affect your business when no one was able to reach out to the outside world?
Yeah, it's a great question, actually. It did affect us severely and greatly because, for example, we would set a deadline or a time frame, and then the next day there was a lockdown imposed. So everything, like we couldn't predict anything. Delays were taking place. Also, the economic situation in Lebanon didn't help at all, and port explosion didn't help at all. Also, with the getting the fabrics from abroad or outsourcing things. So everything played against developing this brand, but we stayed positive, and it was a better incentive for us to work in with Lebanese families and with Lebanese manufacturers, because and forget about the pandemic for some time and try to ignore that. Okay, we decided there's a lockdown for a month, let's put it on hold. We're gonna do the work that we wanted to do during this month, the next month. So we really tried to move along with what was happening instead of considering it as a hurdle and stopping. And it was, what I can say, was unpredictable the whole time.
Yeah,
We had a
especially
plan to launch in end of May, beginning of April. We couldn't. We couldn't meet, like the manufacturers couldn't meet the deadlines because they couldn't go to work. And of course, and we would never ask them to go to work because this was very like dangerous on so many levels, not just with the pandemic, but also for them getting a fine. Although they really wanted to go because they were worried about like losing their jobs or, you know, but at the end of the day, we reassure them that we're not going anywhere. We're just gonna wait.
So your production was in Lebanon, although your business was in Amsterdam, and that was, I think, one of the challenges in a lockdown where restriction and mobility and the easiness of doing business is not like simple as before. You can take a plane or you can go and see
Yeah.
the work done. So you had to take some measurements. So tell us what worked and what didn't work in terms of operation or the business that you were running.
Of course, I had to travel back and forth, but this was really, this put a lot of pressure on me because, of course, I don't want to catch corona, but at the same time, I don't want to spread it. And having to travel every other month during the pandemic was quite heavy. And at the same time, to engage with people in Lebanon and to, like, you want to work, you want life to be normal, but nothing is normal. And you really have to defy everything that's happening and try to see the positive things, like try to do as much virtual meetings as possible. But at the end of the day, with the production, I had to be there. I had to see how the work was done. Was it the quality that I wanted? This is like what we expected or not? And to do some alterations if needed. But it was really, really challenging. And like these were really hard times for me and for my partners and for everyone involved in that process.
Yeah, of course, I can imagine because the way that that you feel and the pressure
Yeah.
to make your brand and the business was taking the first steps succeed and reach customers and start like blossoming requires a lot of effort. It's not easy, especially if you're trying to deal with markets that are unpredictable or when the situation in Lebanon adds up to the economical pressure. How did you try to simulate your business? Did you try different approaches? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, of course. First of all, like I'm gonna talk about the motivation we had to work with Lebanese manufacturers. I mean, of course, we also had the opportunity to work with manufacturers in Portugal, which was easier for me and closer and everything. But at the same time, I believe greatly and very much in Lebanese people and their potential. So that's why this was my incentive to go to Lebanon and work with Lebanese manufacturers. This is the starting point. And second, when we were there, and as I said previously, that you feel that people were worried constantly because of the instability, the economic and political instability that were happening and still happening. So you also want to give them some sort of reassurance. And you give them this reassurance by telling them that you hope this business will flourish and succeed and continue, which in returns means that they're gonna keep their jobs and they're also gonna keep some sort of stability, financial stability at least. And I've worked before with Lebanese manufacturers, and I used to live in Lebanon, and it's very easy to communicate with them. And I think I'm quite satisfied with the results given the circumstances, but to stimulate and give them incentives is also to let them be aware that even though the circumstances are very bad, like right now in Lebanon, you still have people who are living abroad who are willing to help and who want to still invest in Lebanon.
Well, that's really true because it's all about efforts, and you cannot do it alone because it's about the connections, the people who are next to you. Talking about the year in the pandemic, definitely you had contacts with the customers and the competition. Can you tell us briefly how were the customers reacting in this period and the competition, if you know how they were on?
Yeah. First, I really need to highlight that we're trying, the challenging part was because we're trying to sell in 3 different locations, which is Lebanon, the UAE, and the Netherlands. And of course, in general, they have different tastes, even if we're trying to reach out to this international woman who's on the go. But so this was the challenge, and we decided to take the path of simplicity, yet add a little bit of like a Lebanese touch. And as you can see in our designs, you have the architecture influence with the arches and the colors and the details added. But they're so subtle that they're not imprinted as just like Lebanese. So this is one thing. And of course, before launching, we did many focus groups in the UAE and also in the Netherlands because we didn't know the markets that well. And we observed our competitors of what they were doing, what was working well for them. So this was why I was saying it took a year of like research, understanding the market, doing focus groups. And we met with a lot of Dutch women. And also, this was also another challenge during the pandemic. You cannot meet with more than 6 or 10 people maximum, and it had to be a big room for them to come or to accept to join the focus group. So we took their opinions and their insights about what they liked and what they didn't, and according to that, we altered the collection and we worked according to their input.
Mhm. Yeah, because at the end, these designs are for women from different path of life, different backgrounds, and they're trying to express their identity in fashion, despite that there is a pandemic on the lockdown.
I would like to add one thing. The one thing that the pandemic did good, did us good, was that people all of a sudden shifted towards casual clothes that they can dress it up or dress it down. So this was like an added value to our brand, and I'm happy about that. And this is what I mean, like we wanted to look at the positive side and the bright side instead of, you know, seeing only the hurdles that we faced.
True, because there's a lot of obstacles, but you just figure out how to change or redefine your outreach and your concept so it can adapt to what's being present now. And talking about now, how's your business going at the moment, and what are your plans for the coming few months?
Yeah, the business is going well, and we were very happy and surprised by how people reacted to our designs and that they really loved them, and of course, then purchased them. And they tried to spread the word because they were also impressed with the story behind it. And so we were very happy and surprised because, of course, you do all the work, but once you launch, this is when the real challenge starts. And so for now, we're really satisfied. What we would like to do more, of course, expand the collection, create other designs that maybe would fit different tastes as well. So include more women, as I say, and spread the word. This is what we want to do, like to spread the word beyond just the Netherlands and the UAE and Lebanon.
True, because you're trying to reach a bigger audience.
Yeah.
I know that you mentioned some future activities that might interlap with this last question that comes to an end, although I don't want to end this interview. I would like to know if Amiisi would require help, if you can name for us a few things, at least 3 things you need help beside the one that you have mentioned. Can you tell us any final thoughts or things that come up to your mind?
When I say to also spread the word, it's not just because of Amiisi as the brand, because if you look at behind the scenes, the people who are working for Amiisi and with Amiisi, that we can help, Lebanese families that they can secure a job for a long term, not something that's temporary, to shed the light on the great potential Lebanese people have, but also to spread the word about what I would really like, actually, to spread the word about Amiisi and let people recognize the brand and know the story, the inspiration behind it. And that's mainly it.
Well, that's beautiful, because you're trying to tell a story about a country, and at the meantime, not only by supporting, like by creating designs, you are supporting people who are working and they are looking for a sustainable income where it's difficult in some areas to get this income. So small businesses helping also other people who are behind is important. Before we end, would you like to say anything?
I would like to say that we're now in the era where women shouldn't spend more than 10 minutes, every single morning worrying about what to wear and whether they wore this dress like yesterday or the week before. Because with the shirt dress, what we wanted to do is to end the wardrobe hassle every woman faces every single day. So it's something that we think is cheerful for women and empowering, and with a great message behind the brand itself. So I really hope that more people would know about the brand and they would be more interested in supporting the brand, whether by spreading the word or purchasing an Amiisi item.
That's amazing, because these shirt dresses, as you mentioned, they allow every woman to be on her, like express her own identity and take it every moment during the day and change it just by taking around some accessories. Thank you so much, Sanaa. Thank you.
Yeah. It was really pleasure meeting you and talking to you.
Likewise. So everyone who's watching us, I'd like to let you know that details would be mentioned below if you want to reach out to Sanaa and know more about Amiisi. And feel free to contact us or Sanaa. I'd like you to check this video, also subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for many more interviews from different countries and business sectors. So for now, bye-bye.
Thank you.